everyone. Welcome back to our Connect Marquee webinar series. We are proudly announced that today is very special. Why? Because this is our ninth webinar who will bring lucky charms and also our first multi-country webinar that we invented. Not only Indonesia, there are three other countries who are participants for this webinar. From here, we've got Pak Ferdinand. Pak Fer, hi Pak Fer.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Also, other speakers, we have Ibu Lili from Malaysia. Hi, Ibu Lili.
Hi.
Hi, Ibu Lili. And also, don't forget that we had our beloved moderator, Pak Edi from Dewa Web. Hi, Pak Edi.
Hi, morning, everyone.
And also, we have a very beautiful lady as a speakers here, Miss Sarah from Australia. Hi, Miss Sarah.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Sarah from Australia.
Hi. And also the last but not least, our very famous speaker is from China, representative, Mr. Raffle. Hi, Raffle.
Hey, how's you guys going?
Okay, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, without further ado, before that, we want to introduce something. We want to share something related with Marquee and Connects. I'm gonna invite David as the business development managers of Connects and also sales managers from Marquee to talk about Marquee and Connects. Okay, David. Hi, David.
Also, hi everyone.
Okay, thank you. Okay, please, I will give the time to you. Thank you.
Okay, so I will share the screen. Okay, so I'm just gonna spend a little while introducing about who is Marquee, what is Marquee, and what actually our company does. So for sure, to let you all know that Marquee currently is the #1 premium leading service office in Indonesia. We are located in several locations across Indonesia, including Jakarta and Bali. In Jakarta itself, we are located in Pondok Indah, TB Simatupang, SCBD, Sudirman, Tamrin, Kuningan, and Bali. Also, we are located in 18 centers across 11 buildings. So what does actually Marquee provide? So Marquee provide is two core services, is that service office or workspace, and also our virtual office. And surely, during this pandemic of COVID-19, we assure you that we can give you a very affordable prices. How affordable are we? I will let you know in the next slide. Before that, I will share you some of Marquee image. This is actually Marquee in the TB Simatupang area, Marquee in Cyber 2 area. This is Marquee in Plaza Office Tower. These are Marquee in Bali. This is Marquee in SCBD Sudirman. This is our workspace, Connects Co-working, and this one is in Bali. So how affordable are we during this pandemic of COVID-19? We surely will help you with the social distancing of a 2.5 million per person workspace and also a 6 months free for the virtual office for those of you who still needs a domicile. And this is our co-working spaces that if you see Mahesa background connects, is our co-working. We will provide you with a 1 million per hot desk per person per month. So we surely gonna help you on this pandemic through our affordable prices of offices. And this is our contact in Jakarta and Bali. So also we're gonna share that our next webinar, Marquee and Connects will have a webinar tomorrow. It's on the 6th May on the 10 a.m. also. Is about startup and intellectual property, which will be brought by Terence and Raffle. I think that's all from me. Thank you. And if you have any inquiry to ask, you can ask Mahesa, Emmeline, or me. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Before that, I want to share something about the videos to just describe about Marquee and Connects. Enjoy. Yeah, that's it. Okay, after this, we have a very brief about our business. And thank you before that to present kind of webinar as a host. I will call Pak Edi Budiman as the CEO of Web Indonesia. Hi, Pak Edi.
Hello, yes, my name is Edi Budiman from Dewa. It's really great to be with you here, along with speakers here. I believe we get a lot of insights into the situation now from our friends here. And please play a video about Dewa Web. I'll prefer to a bit.
Di suatu malam yang pelanggan sedang menelusuri website kamu untuk berbelanja. Tiba-tiba, website kamu tidak bisa diakses. Ketika kamu menghubungi penyedia, kamu harus menunggu berjam-jam. Akhirnya ratusan pelanggan hilang begitu saja. Andai saja ada malaikat dari langit yang dapat mengabulkan permintaan. Perkenalkan, Dewa Web. Dewa Web siap membantu kamu untuk punya website yang selalu aman dan cepat diakses. Bagaimana caranya? Dewa Web menempatkan website kamu di server cloud tercepat dengan unlimited bandwidth dan melindungi website kamu dari serangan hackers, virus malware, dan risiko kehilangan data dengan memberikan cloud backup gratis. Layanan Dewa Web juga sudah bersertifikat keamanan ISO 27001. Jika kamu kesulitan memindahkan website kamu ke Dewa Web, Ninja Support yang ramah siap membantu kamu 24 jam sehari. Jadi, apakah kamu mau punya website yang sekuat dan secepat Dewa? Hubungi Dewa Web sekarang juga.
Hello, my name is Edi Budiman. I'm the CEO of Dewa Web. Dewa Web wants to be your technology partner and friend to help you succeed online. We understand that your website is your greatest online asset, that it is the first place that your customers find about you and your great products or services. That's why we want to give you the best technology to make sure that your website is always secure, fast, and reliable. That's why we offer these features for free in all these hosting packages, right? And some of these features may not be available in other providers, like this automatic cloud backup, NVMe SSD, mail channels delivery service for email, Intel Gold, premium WordPress themes to make sure that your website is always amazing look, right? And also we have this ISO 27001 certification. Hosting your website at Dewa Web is like hosting it on a Ferrari. It's not just a regular car, right? It's one of the fastest cars in the world, and that is Dewa Web, right? And you also get access to our Ninja Support 24/7. You can contact them anytime by email, chat, right, or phone, right, to get help. And if your business needs any help, like high volume traffic or custom application, just contact us and we'll give you quote for this dedicated cloud server solution. And now is the best time to start your online journey with Dewa Web, because we are running a special 50% discount just by entering this promotion code on the checkout form. This is a very limited time offer and only for this week during this webinar. And if you have your website hosted on another provider, just contact us and we will help migrating your website for free, right? So, thank you for listening to my presentation. Sukses dari rumah. Okay, that's all from me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pak Edi. Before that, everyone, can you guys check the Zoom webinar chat in here? Because we've got the ground rules here. So our friendly webinar house rules is every participant has to turn off the video, and then every participant can ask any question through the Q&A room. So you can check the under the button of Q&A. And also the participant who want to secure a copy of the participant's material, you can request via email with the subject Connect Webinar 5, because today is the 5th of May, and send it to connects@connects.co.id. Okay, we should start for our very lovely first speaker. Okay, are you ready? She is very active and very energetic, and also she's like the rock star for SME and startups in Malaysia and in the whole Southeast Asia. And she's the CEO and the co-founder of the Beta Foundations Malaysia, Ibu Lily Abdul Latif. The stage is yours, Ibu.
Thank you, Mahesa. How are you? How's everyone? I hope everyone is doing okay under the movement control order that everyone is facing in Australia, in Indonesia, Malaysia. I think China is slowly picking up its engines of economy, and I would be glad to hear from Rafael as to what China is doing to actually get back into some kind of economic activity. So what I'm going to do today, I would like to explain a little bit about the digital transformation that was happening very actively in Malaysia. So I'm going to share my screen now and we'll go through the presentation that I've prepared, okay? So there we go. Right. So I've been in the digital world and programming and the tech industry for many, many years, over 20 years, right? And I've been working with the Malaysian government as outside activist, right? To see that Malaysians adopt digital as much as they can in their daily lives and in their work, right? But it has been a very, very slow process because mainly a lot of people are very fearful of going digital. They fear that their information will be shared. They fear people will take over their database, all kinds of things. But what was funny, this COVID-19 situation has actually pushed a lot of people to go and transform themselves digitally, especially those who are running businesses, because there's no other way but going digital and adopting technology. So there was this big question that was going around over the WhatsApp and Facebook, and this famous poster came out. Who led the digital transformation of your company? Was it your CEO? Was it your CTO? Or was it COVID-19? Everybody laughed, but everybody knew that this was very, very true. The very first day that we had our movement control order in Malaysia, I knew that this was going to be very good for those people who are in the tech business or the digital business, because everybody's going to turn to them to ask, how do I manage my business digitally? How do I sell and connect to my customers? Governments were asking questions, where are my data, you know, in order to design policies that will fit the rakyat. COVID-19 made everybody think hard about going digital, okay? So the objective of this presentation is very simple. I don't want to take too much time. I want to give you an understanding of what and who drives digital transformation in Malaysia. So if you're planning to do business in Malaysia and you have some tech that you want to promote, then it's good that you understand the ecosystem a little bit, okay? And then I wanted to explain what happened during the COVID MRO or MCO. You use it interchangeably. And then predictions, or my predictions for areas of opportunities after the MRO for owners of SME businesses, what you need to do in order to stay ahead. And because there will be changes on your consumer behavior and your customer behavior and how they want to be reached if you want to sell them something. And then prediction for those people who are tech startups and tech business founders, okay? So in Malaysia, we had this target last year. The government announced that with digital transformation, you know, 10 billion US dollars will be contributing to the Malaysian GDP by 2021, okay? So the government has a very active role in enhancing our national digital infrastructure because they realize that we need more data to understand what's going on in a micro economic scale, what's happening in the kampong or in the village, what's happening in rural, and without gathering data, without digital, we will be designing policies that may not fit them and may not be fast enough for them, okay? So in Malaysia, really the Malaysian government actually play a very influential role in designing where the country is going. And even in digital and tech, it's very much driven or started by the Malaysian government, and then you see mass adoption. So the Malaysian government is actually the initiator. They catalyze the ecosystem. They design programs, they have grants, they have policies, targets, and KPIs to achieve, and large-scale contracts that's given out to people, which kind of spurs the economy, that spurs that industry. Okay, and who normally takes it up after that? That's the supplier of technology, right? So you see universities, they will start producing graduate skills, R&D in certain technology focus, right? So, you know, if there's a change in programming, curriculum, you will see that the universities will change very quickly, and then they start supplying the graduates that we need, right, for that industry. Then there's the foreign MNC, the multinationals. And so these are the Googles, the Facebook, the Microsoft that has office in Malaysia. They will also include people like Accenture, IDC, who provide data, right? So they participate in the economy, you know. And then there's the government-linked corporations. These are largely system integrators and tech infrastructure people. This is Telecom Malaysia. This is High-Tech Niaga. This is VATS. These are some of the larger government-linked corporations who are providing technology and infrastructure to Malaysia. And then there are the startups. The startups are many. They run in the thousands, okay? They are what we call, they produce the disruptive tech. They provide the innovation and agility. So what happened is that they ride on the infrastructure that's been built by the GLCs, right? And then they provide the connection. And they're very fast moving. Startups grow and die very quickly, but there are a few that's surviving and doing very well. And they're changing the way consumers are consuming food, the way they are buying clothes, the way they are connecting to each other. So the startups do that. And then there's the buyers of tech. Who buys all these technologies? So from a business point of view, of course, the government will also buy the tech that comes out, okay? And it's not unusual also for government to also buy technology from startups, okay? So they contract things out to them. And then there's the large enterprise. These are not the tech enterprises. These could be Petronas, you know, the national oil company. This could be Shell. This could be British American Tobacco. These are the large enterprises that operate in Malaysia. So they also purchase locally produced tech, right? And then there's the SMEs. So SMEs really purchase things like automation, point of sales, digital marketing. And then there's the micro sellers. Micro sellers is like your makcik or your aunts and uncles who sell kuih muih by the roadside. You see some of them are also adopting technology, like selling on Instagram or selling via Facebook and WhatsApp. So they're using some form of technology to also connect to their customers, okay? So, but there are challenges, okay? So it's not all pretty. So usually the initiator, the Malaysian government, they're very visionary, but unfortunately, there's a lot of failure at implementation, really. You know, it's not perfect. So there's always room for improvement, largely because the government do not have the internal skills and experience. And a lot of the time, because they initiate, they're the first learners, right? So they have to learn from their mistakes and then improve the policy, improve the grant process and all that. And also because it's also very politically motivated. So in some ways, when we don't adopt certain technologies very quickly, like blockchain, right? The way China government is adopting blockchain, and we're not, we're very, maybe, 10 years behind. It's largely because we're politically motivated, right? If we don't see politically, they don't see a benefit, they're not going to do it, right? And sometimes they make costly mistakes, right? At the suppliers of tech level, although there's a lot of very talented and visionary people involved in this level, but in Malaysia, we're not makers of tech. We're more distributors of tech, you know. So we don't produce the what you call the technology originator. So I think in places like Australia and Singapore, China, there are technology originators. So Malaysia need to change. We need to get, you know, designing new innovative technologies to become an originator. So in that sense, we're also very slow to convince buyers. Eventually, they become a bit complacent. So what happened is that, you know, they compete with each other with more or less the same stuff, and they drive the prices so low that the industry is impacted, except for startups. So the startup scene is very interesting. It's only maybe, you know, 5-7 years ago this really started, and we're seeing a lot of changes in the industry, okay? In terms of the buyers of tech, a lot of people are very slow to adopt and buy tech, and it's a very wait and see culture. So other things become more priority than the technology itself, and they're not very visionary, so they want to wait for what, you know, your competitor do before you actually do something. Okay, so that's the challenges in the Malaysian ecosystem. So what happened was, just before the MCO or the RMO, you know, which is in Indonesia, they call it PSBB, right? So people were talking about Industrial Revolution 4.0. And you see large corporations like Shell and you know, and Petronas and you know, Cyberview, all you know, shelling out money to design accelerators and hackathon because they think it's the cool thing to do. And they, you know, people like Tune, you know, adopt the policy to acquire some of these startups and hire the talent into their group. And so they're very big words, but when you go to the SMEs and the micro sellers, they will go, I have no idea what you're talking about, because it's at 100,000 feet level. So a lot of people don't understand what all of these things mean, right? And then the MCO started. So COVID, we could see that it was hurting China a lot for a good 3 months, right? And then it started coming into other parts of the world. And when it entered Malaysia and there was an outbreak, the government was forced to introduce what we call movement control order. And that started, I think, March 14 or March 16, about 2 months ago. And suddenly the conversation changed. Everybody in Malaysia now knows how to use Zoom. Even my mother-in-law is having her Al-Quran classes on Zoom, okay? And she's never touched her phone except for WhatsApp, and now she's Zooming on it, okay? And then we had startups who were working on digital procurement. Suddenly, everybody wanted to use their platform, and they were able to do sales, you know, selling off their digital procurement stuff. And everybody was also worried about mental health, layoffs, cash flow. So these are some of the big buzzwords that was happening during the MCO and still happening now. And it has changed the conversation very quickly, and largely people are connecting using technology to reach their customers, to reach their staff, and to reach their families, okay? So, you know, so things got real very quickly, you know, and after 6 weeks, there was a 30-year-old publishing company called Blue Ink that had to shut down. They just couldn't make the sales. There was a 10-year-old, very hip hotel called G Tower that also had to shut down. Esprit Malaysia also shut down. And this is terrible. This is terrible for business. This is terrible for the staff who was working there. And in order to help citizens, the government ordered a 6-month moratorium, or basically a loan holiday, and the banks have to do it. So it affects people who have loans for cars, who have loans for houses, and basically they don't have to pay their loans for 6 months, you know, and they extend the period of their original contract by 6 months, just to give a little bit of cash flow and breather to the rakyat, okay? but banks were losing billions, even just in the car loan sector, they're losing billions, okay? And there were reports of families in Malaysia who had no food because they've lost income. These are people who work day by day and get money, and they didn't have that because they were not allowed to go out of their houses. There were no transport, so there were a lot of people who were volunteering to get food to these families. And the government themselves of Malaysia reported a loss of about 100 billion ringgit in GDP, in economic production. They feel that that's what happened during the lockdown, okay? But there is a positive side, right? So in terms of the technology, guys, there was a company called Aerodyne in Malaysia. They're based in Malaysia. They're started in Malaysia. They operate in like 40 different countries, right? And they started supplying drones to Police Diraja Malaysia, the police, in order to manage movement that was on the highways, right? To catch people who are not supposed to be going out of their homes, right? Unless they have permits. Droppy, which is a startup that I help, they've got a contract with the Ministry of Agriculture to match 80,000 vegetable farmers to buyers and to supermarkets so that they can move their vegetables and produce very quickly. There was also an increase of demand increase for business intelligence tools and digital marketing tools. Very traditional businesses like Habib Jewels suddenly was very interested. How can I sell my jewelry online? Because 40 of my branches across Malaysia is shut down, right? There was also Petronas awarded two B2B procurement contracts, which made Petronas staff being able to buy goods for Petronas in an Alibaba style website, right? And work from home. God, CEOs of very large corporations who never touch their emails are suddenly, understand what working from home is all about. And we hope that there's more acceptance about working from home and that you can be productive if you work from home once in a while, okay? And the local maker communities, I think in places like Indonesia also have very good local maker communities. They started producing 3D printed face shields for our frontliners at the hospitals. And this is good. And you see how people use technology and everyday materials to produce stuff that is really urgently needed in the hospitals, okay? And schools, in Malaysia, schools started using Google Classroom a lot and Zoom to actually keep classes going, and this has proven very, very good. A lot of students are still going to school even though they're not there physically, so they still have classes. And micro sellers are now using online bazaars in order to sell kuih muih during this puasa month, okay? And it gets delivered by the likes of Grab or Gojek type deliveries, okay? So what's going to happen? I'm going to check my time in case I've run too long. There will be a new normal, and I think Ferdinand will be talking a little bit more about this new normal, so I won't go through this as much, but if you wanted a more detailed report, you can download the KPMG Malaysia report. It's called the Post-MCO Reset, right? And what you're going to see, there's a lot of shift towards hyper-local. So if you're used to doing business, you feel that you need a business model that's more nationwide, actually going hyper-local helps a lot. So for example, how do you connect your local restaurants to still being able to deliver to your township, right? So these are things like hyper-localization. So digital is going to be king after post-COVID. I think a lot of people is going to worry about cash because there's a lot of loss in cash. A lot of businesses were actually, because they lost a lot of money and they had to lay off people, suddenly they realized there's just valuation alone is not going to help you. Cash reserves is going to be very much needed post-COVID, because if they have another outbreak and another MCO happen, that could really kill your business. Okay, so the rest I will let you read the KPMG Malaysia report, right? Here we go. So if you're a business owner, right, there's this 12-step method if you wanted to actually adopt some kind of digital transformation, right? Number one, you've got to change that customer is king. It's not about your product, it's about the customer and whether the customer really want your product. So you need to actually look into that. For example, I'm going to give you the example of Habib Jewels, right? So they really thought, you know, oh, my jewel is going to sell the thing. You know, I already have a brand. But if your customer is no longer going to your retail shop, you know, how are you going to capture their attention, right? So really now you've got to shift from just producing your jewels. You've got to look at what is the customer, where are they, can I connect with them or not? So that is about shifting your focus to being more customer focused. And then this organizational structure, you used to sell stuff at your shop. Now, how do you deliver the same jewels to your customer who's maybe, you know, 100 kilometers away? Do you have a delivery partner that you can trust to deliver these very expensive goods, right? Do you have the local warehouse that stores some of these assets that you need to send out to your customer, right? And then the other one that I wanted to show focus on is the digitization of the business. A lot of businesses are still very much manual. You keep everything on paper. And when you keep everything on paper, you lose data about trends, you lose data about your business intelligence, you lose data about your customer, all right? So that's why it's very important that you start adopting some form of digitization in your business. And again, coming back to that customer, personalization. How do you make them feel as if they are the only customer to your product or service, right? And there are many ways to do that. Okay, so next. Oops. I'm having problem with is there something wrong? Okay, I seem to have lost my connection. Hold on.
Need help, Bu?
Yeah, suddenly it just shut down. I'm gonna turn back on where we left
or
off.
maybe we can move on into the next speaker, or
Is it too long? Have I spoken? Yes. Okay. Tell you what, I'll just finish up this last bit on opportunities for new businesses, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ibu Lily.
5 minutes.
Then what? Oh, you want to share something?
Yeah, just give me 5 minutes to share, and then
okay.
I just only have like
okay.
1 or 2 more slides to go. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Ferdinand. Okay. So opportunities for new businesses, right? So there's a lot of opportunities in healthcare, e-commerce, entertainment, restaurants. So if you're in healthcare, drug procurement and sales, you know, if you're going to be in another MCO, how are you going to get to your medications? Can it be delivered to your homes, right? In terms of e-commerce, a lot of people are talking about supply chain now. So if you're selling not via e-commerce, you should actually start looking on how do we get your supply chain done digitally, right? There's a lot in entertainment and restaurants too. But I think Mahesa will be sharing these slides to most of you, so you can take a look also. There's also a lot of opportunities later in construction, hospitality, fintech. Each of these actually is a class on their own, right? So last but not least, I hope you've gained some insight about the opportunities that you can find around you. And also if you're going to operate in Malaysia, those are the sectors that is going to be very sexy in Malaysia, in Malaysian market, right? Now, at the end of this, I think Mahesa is going to give away vouchers to 3 lucky participants, right?
Yes.
So if you want some mentorship, access, to understand a little bit more about how to operate in places like Malaysia or Southeast Asia, you can get free 1-hour mentoring session from me. And this is the website that you can go to, proficio.com, mentor for good. And it will be in the handout, so you can look it up. And then just schedule a mentoring session with me and I'll talk to you. and then we can extend this discussion a little bit more. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Lily. Maybe you can type your email into the
Sure.
Zoom group chat.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes, I will. Okay.
Okay, after this, yeah. Thank you, Ibu Lily.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't have much time here, so sorry. And we shall move on into our next speakers. Now is a local hero. He looks young but smart, and guess what? He already got companies already, and becoming a CEO. And please welcome Pak Ferdinand Hasiholan from Firtek Indonesia. Hi, Pak Fer. You here? You can unmute. See,
Hi,
still young,
Maesa.
right? Maybe 20-ish. Or just look young. Okay. Okay. Take your time, Pak.
Thank you, Mahesa. Hello, everyone. Maybe a little bit I introduce myself. My name is Ferdinand Hasiholat. So I'm CEO at Firtek Indonesia. So this hello. Hello, Mahesa. You can
Yes,
hear
yes,
my
yes. Okay,
voice?
it's cool. Yeah, you can
Okay.
start.
So I will share about the Indonesia technology transformation in COVID-19 era. Everyone that if we saw about the COVID-19 and the technology transformation is very related right now. Okay, so a little bit about us. Firtek Indonesia is Indonesia. Our product and our service is of www.firtek.online. Okay, so maybe all of you is already hear about the VUCA, right? VUCA word or VUCA conditions. VUCA it means is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. But right now we realize that we are living in the more VUCA because of what? Because of this. VUCA is new sentence. It's the virus corona, right? So everything is more volatile, more uncertain, more complex, more ambiguous. Okay, due to the epidemics by this disease COVID-19, the forecast of our GDP in 2020 is only 2.5%. This is warning for all of us in Indonesia specifically. Because of what? We need to do something breakthrough. We need to do the something, what we call this, the new our design thinking right now. Okay. So even we talked earlier, Bu Lili talked about the SME, new business, something like that. Even though that the Apple and Google, so they are impact with the virus corona as well. So this is might be the recessions, right? This is could be impactful to the recession as well. But the solutions, everyone, we need to do the transformation. Okay, so the question is, why does transformation issue right now suddenly become very, very daunting? We talk in the seminar, we talk in the talk show, we talk with the consultant, mentor, coach, and something like that. We talk about the transformation, But our homework right now is the how to implement the transformation. So why does transformation become very daunting? Because we know the global industry business landscape is changing like never before, faster and then unpredictable. Okay, so we agree with that. In our forecast in 2030, China is predicted to overtake USA as the world's largest economy. Maybe later Rafael will be explained with this data. Yeah? Okay, in 2030, China is predicted to overtake USA as the world's largest company. Also in 2030, the number of device connections will be more than the amount of cents in the world. So we can imagine that we all connected with the device connection, we in the cloud connection, you know. So the digitalization and the transformation is not just only the dream, but it's already happening in the world, okay? So in 2030, 2/3 of the job we know today will no longer exist. So we know that in the past 10 years, we don't know about what the call is. We just know the human resource. Now we have other title in the company is people, department people, you know. So 2/3 of the job we know today will no longer exist. So therefore, our workforce skill set, we need to evolve, right? To evolve. So because we need to survive on this VUCA condition, the transformation condition. And also the thing is, in 2030, 75% of global workforce will be occupied by millennials. Yeah, we agree on that. Yeah. In 2030, 75% global workforce will be occupied by millennials. However, these are the generation that often considered as lazy, rude, and also disloyal. Okay, so we need to prepare our business, we prepare our infrastructure, we prepare the system to facing this changing. Okay, so everyone, I need to share that while you working from home, while the virus corona is happen in this world, but uh, still expectation from our board of management in crisis COVID-19, you need to predicting the outcomes as well. Predicting, you need to list down, you need to design the business driven for your customers. Okay, and then the second thing is diagnosing the problems. Okay, what kind of the problems, what kind the how why our customers satisfaction is low. Okay, diagnosing the problems. And then the third one is prescribing the solutions. Okay, you create the project management, you create the plan, and then the action plan, and then the execution plan. Okay, this is the three things that the expectation from our board of management. Okay, now I want to share with you the things of the transformation we talk today in this webinar is about the transformation of technology. Okay, but we need to have first of all, when you want to creating the transformation of the technology, this is we call the three fundamentals. Okay, the three fundamentals including of number one is process, number two is infrastructure or system, and then the most important is the people behavior, you know, because of what? Okay, of course, you right now doing the business, and then you of course you have the process, right? Okay, to support your process, you creating the infrastructure and system. Okay, but if you changing the process and then the infrastructure and or system you changing as well, but you need to keep the people behavior can adapting with the changes, right? Sometimes we degraded the point of the people behavior. So this is the three fundamentals of technology transformation. Okay, so we're talking about the how in Indonesia. For sure, Indonesia right now for the Ministry of Industry already announced the grand design or blueprint about the Making Indonesia 4.0. The reason is why Indonesia focusing on the industry, because our GDP contribute is more and less 18 until to 20% contribute by the industry, our GDP. So because of that's why government, the Jokowi president, our president in Indonesia, launch of the Making Indonesia 4.0. Yeah. So, but the journey of making Indonesia 4.0 still had a lot of challenge and opportunity because of what? That's I call them the three fundamentals. The people behavior. That's why in this year, Jokowi is already announced we focusing on the human resource development, right? Okay. Okay, I will share the 5 ways of the technology transformation. Number 1, you should be know about your business process or your business as usual. Focus on non-value added process. You need to eliminate them. Okay, number 1, you need to eliminate focus on the non-value added process. Number 2, if you want to creating the business process assessment, you need to end-to-end, okay, not silo, not just only your department, not just only your team, but you need to think about the end-to-end, okay. Number 3, create the project management plan. So you need to plan all of the transformation that you want to execute. Okay, you can creating the lean agile, or you can project management professional, and so on. Okay, number 4, piloting your project. Okay, creating the prototype, and then the third one is your monitor your pilot project. Okay, number 5, this is the things is no need to be perfect at the first time. The most important thing is better than before. The transformation is not the best, okay? We want to achieve the best, but we need to better than before, okay? This one I want to share about the top 5 failure of technology transformation. Why technology transformations can be failed? Number 1 is the management support, everyone. Okay, management support is number 1, the important things. More on the management support, I want to share case study with the GE. All of us already know about the leadership in GE. Yeah, one of the original 12 companies to debut on the Dow Jones back on May 2026. Okay, Jack Welch, GE CEO for 20 years. Okay, Jack Welch, as we know, they have a program is leader create leaders. Okay, so this is the most important to achieve the technology transformation is how our leadership is improved, our mindset, our skills is improved, all about the leadership. Okay, so as we know, GE has been a Fortune 500 company for 21 years. Okay, so the first thing is the management support and then the leadership. Okay, so we talk also the case study in Netflix. You know, Netflix culture deck has over 10 million views worldwide. Netflix in reinventing technology through differentiated culture. You know Netflix, yeah, from the business of CDs, you know, and now they can produce a film, or they have a big setup to produce. They have a Netflix original movies, yeah, and then this is how about the management support, and then the leadership, and next is the become a culture. Okay. So next is how we can be sustainable of technology transformation implementation. The first of all, you need to creating your goal, okay? And then your plan, assignment, follow up, and then your report. Of course, between the plan and report, you need to analyze your variance, get identifications, and then you do the corrective action. Our journey of the technology transformation is contact, awareness, understanding, positive perception, implementation, adoption, institutionalization, internalization. Okay, so this is, we need the three things also: commitment, understanding, and then the last thing is the acceptance. Okay, the key drivers, you need to clear and share vision, of course. Compelling reason why I need the transformation technology, and then the aligned infrastructure and dueling capability, quick wins and stories. That's it, equal to successful change or successful transformation. Okay, this is call to action. Journey of 1,000 miles must begin with the single step. This is from Lao Tzu. The prevailing style of management must undergo transformation. A system cannot understand itself. The transformation requires a view from outside. Where Edward Deming. You may delay, but time will not. Benjamin Franklin. To discuss more with me, you can email me at ferdinand@virtech.online. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Fer. We are running out of time. Now we are jumping to, it's okay. We are jumping to our next speaker. She's very pretty. She might be kind of new to Indonesian crowd, but guess what? She's like an angel in the Australia, of course, for SME and startups, especially who want to enter the Australian country. To join the to open the branch, something like that. Without further ado, I'm gonna call Miss Sarah Zhang as the director of Australian China Innovation Center. Hi, Miss Sarah.
Hey, hello.
Hello. Okay, please. Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to share my screen. Okay. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Sarah Zhang. I'm currently in Australia. Actually, I've been staying in Australia for 12 years already. So I feel like online webinar or conversation is more casual to have a chat with you. So I didn't prepare a long one. So I think for this kind of sharing, the takeaway will be some handy information about the companies I'm currently working with to develop a new solution with the impact and transformation of COVID-19. So, so today I'm going to talk about the opportunities to maximize bilateral business with global transformation after COVID-19. Yep. So a little bit information about myself. So I'm the director of Australian China Innovation Center and also a founder of Linked Power International, which is a recruitment company in Australia, because I'm helping Australian and China multinational companies to find the best talents. And also I'm a business mentor in University of Queensland, Bond University, ARC Hardware Incubator, and also the Queensland Youth Hub, and also Transformer Incubator in Australia. So my daily duty is mainly getting involved with companies deeply to understand about their company structure and also provide guidance and providing very detailed step-by-step guideline for them to grow in different markets. Okay, so because I'm in Australia, I think talking about the different situation in Australia will give you different information to try to rethink about your business in this challenging time with different angles. So probably you will find a potential opportunities to grow your business in different countries. So Australian, as you know, has been enforced the lockdown since March 2020. And we have to say that until now, Australian government responds well and promptly in contaminating the spread of virus. And now the curve has been pretty flattened, so I feel pretty safe here. So however, we still cannot ignore the huge impact of the lockdown or the fear of virus on the business. So you can see from the picture I show you here, the popular sites like the Sydney Opera House and the Melbourne shopping district are all empty. Until now, it's still empty, and the people are encouraged to work from home. So almost 80% of the retail shops are closed temporarily. Two-thirds of the business across all sectors reported taken hit to revenue on revenue or cash flow due to the COVID-19. So we can see from the histogram here on the right that the disruptions to Australian workers were vast. Businesses were making some sort of change to their workforce. So this one is being forced by the pandemic situation. So they didn't want to make the change by themselves, but they have to. So all the changes, including temporary reductions, or increase in working hours, or change of working location, or placing staff on leave. Like I'm currently working at home from almost 2 months. I haven't go to the office for a long time. Yeah, and almost all sectors were affected. So you can see from the histogram on the left that the percentage of business by sectors that has ceased trading since the pandemic. So most of the industries and the categories, or like bricks and mortars, or some like on-site and face-to-face business has to be ceased trading. So we have to admit, during this challenging time, the impact is globally. It's not only within one country. So I just read the newspaper this morning, Australian Financial Review, that the report says the shutdown has caused like 4 billion Australian dollars per week. But according to Moody's report, there's no change on Australians' credit rating. So which means the market and the government in Australia still has strong confidence to reform and drag the economic back to formal. So to support the business during the pandemic, I don't know what happened in other countries, but in Australia, the government has released 3-step stimulus package to support the business. So you can see like the 3 steps the government has been released within 1 month. That's pretty quickly in Australia. And the support has been released to SMEs mostly, as well as household payment, include tax-free payment, tourism and trading industries, aged care, job keeper and job seeker payments. So basically I think like 60% of the companies, SMEs in Australia, received the payment from the government to support them to survive during this challenging time. And with the flattened curve of the pandemic, there's a clear sign of economic recovery. So last week, I went to the supermarket. So it's so many people over there. So it's no longer very quiet in the retailing shop. So according to a report, last week, the retail spending was up to 70% in Queensland. So that's a very good signal. So I'm pretty optimistic, but not overly. So we have to admit the impact is not just happening right now during the pandemic. The adverse impact will last longer than we can imagine and need certain amount of time to recover. So as you can see from the histogram here, so the current and expected. So from my experience, I have to say, it is not only about how to fast track technology adoption, it is more about how to understand your business nature, and structure, because every business is different, and also find a new way to adapting into changes, because you don't know what's going to be happened in the future. Like Lily mentioned before, like COVID-19 is actually leading the digital transformation, but probably in the future, something will be happening, like people's like user habits, technology will be changing. So you have to find some way to adapt into those changes. Yeah, so like apart from what happened right now in Australia, I'm going to share you 3 different testimonials I'm currently working with in Australia companies. So the first one is about the traditional Australian brands. So in the past 2 months, like with the pandemic lockdown, so lots of companies approach us, like the companies from wine distributor, abattoir, beef exporters, or water manufacturers, and also clothes and healthcare products, which are the traditional Australian brands. So they are pretty struggling with the manufacturing, like find a way to their customers to increase the sales or probably keep the business running properly. So together with them, we are working with them to identify their objective and giving them the advice and the solution. So we think during this particular time for the traditional, like not only Australian brands, I think for it's almost every traditional brands, you have to understand the opportunity of direct to the consumers. So you have to find your value of using new channels and routes to the market that offer first-party data relationships. And you have to really understand about what you can offer competitively comparing to other people. So so that's what we do with the Australian brands. And the other one is the technology. So we have to say technology is the arm and a tool for us to reach broadly to more audience, like what we are doing right now. We can easily like stay at home and pitching to more than 100 people from different countries. So we're currently working with Tencent. So Tencent is a parent company of WeChat. So we're working them to promoting their cloud-based services to Australian market, because currently, you know, everybody knows Zoom, and Google and Facebook are also developing their own technology, meeting technology to match the demand in the market. So what Tencent can offer is we say like in Australia, there's so many people dealing with Chinese companies, working with Chinese markets. So Chinese people is more familiar with Tencent Meeting, Tencent Cloud. So it would be better for those companies in Australia using Tencent technology to communicate with Chinese companies, with their clients virtually, and keep the business going. So we've been receiving quite positive feedback in Australia already, including the Australian like education departments, health departments, and also incubators. So what we are promoting right now is the Tencent Meeting, is what we call both meeting. Tencent Cloud meets the translator, WeChat Work. So if you're interested in the progress, so probably we can get in contact with each other later on, and we can update you what's happening in Australia with the new technology of Tencent. And the other one is quite interesting. So it's about the education. So everybody knows the pandemic actually placed a huge challenge in education service providers, including universities, K-12 educations, and also some training organizations. So they have to switch or combine online to offline teaching altogether. So this is a particular case we've been working with an Australian company. So before the pandemic, this company, BOP, actually working on-site, online to deliver K-12 education and STEM education in Australian markets. But because of the pandemic, they can't really like follow their existing business model. So within 5 weeks, we've been working with Bob team to develop a new online teaching method. So online learning with Bob, and we're creating the digital workbooks live classes, partner resources, and within 5 weeks, so Bob has like 5,000 teachers online with 10,000 students online to receive their learnings. And the interesting point is about China, because before our plan is to promote Bob education to their own sites into the classrooms, bring the teachers to teach the students face to face. But after the pandemic, and in China, the foreign teachers can't really go inside the classroom because of the security and safety prevention. And they are approaching us, say, can you like switch from offline to online by doing online courses to the students in like so we're now working with the Chinese. I think my time is almost up. It still got 2 minutes. So we're now working with Chinese high schools and the middle schools to deliver online content. And we're also working with Tencent altogether. So we're like Tencent, we're providing like strong technology support to the education company, VOP. So they were providing recording, checkpoints, and also quiz during each checkpoint. Make sure the students in the classroom can actually follow the content. So that's what we do with the education providers. And for my company, Australian China Innovation Center, so we are based in Brisbane, so the capital city of Queensland in Australia. So we had wide connections and with different partners in Australia and in China. And we also have like more than 35 advisors and mentors from different backgrounds, like angel investors, senior consultants, and also professional advisors from academic background. So together with our advisors and mentors, we will be get deeply involved with different companies, different SME or innovative like startups. So we will be, because every company is so different. So we have to understand about your company and then tell you to identify your problem or your objective, and we'll be working with you together step by step. We just take small steps to achieve our milestones. So along the slides, that's something we can offer with the Australian Business Service Pack. So if you're interested in, you can contact me later, or here is my contact information, my email address, mobile number, company address, and also company website. So if you have more questions, you can contact me later on. And so today's sharing is more like a casual talk to give you more information what's happening right now in Australia and China. And I think Rafa will talk about something more later on about the opportunities in China. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Miss Zhang. Can you close the screen?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So we are running out of time now. Okay, thank you, Ms. Zhang. And for those who want to have a PPT, you can email to connect@connect.co.id. And maybe you can reach out her privately. Maybe Ms. Zhang will type it on the Groom Zoom chat regarding the email. So maybe everyone can notice about that. Okay, the last but not least, this is a very famous. Everyone is already known about him. He's very smart and energetic, and he's the reps from WTO IP Global. His destination is the International Business Development. Please welcome Mr. Rafael Chan.
Hey.
Please.
Hi, guys. Without further ado, I think I should really start the presentation immediately. Thank you for all the speakers. Yep. By the way, I'm Rafael, and currently based in Indonesia because of the outbreak, so-called that stuck over here. Our company is established since 2009. This is a brief introduction, and we are more like a leading technovation platform. And we have been operated in 32 cities across 32 cities for 38 branches in China. And basically, we are more connected with intellectual property, and our major task is turning like integration resources for services from online and offline. Just a small insight for you guys. You can see the impact for during the COVID-19 for the outbreak for the retailing sections, especially in China. During the Chinese New Year, you can see the significant growth is over 5%. They are only 28%. The slight of the growth, less than 5% is 16. With the growth is stable, is only 7%. And moderate decline and significant decline and still unclear. This is during the Chinese New Year, which means it's during the February. Of course, the major impact is really hurt. Is tumbling for this, the businesses during the March and April. Coming up next, look at the challenges in China for the retailers. What are the major challenges during the epidemic? The 36% is because of the high cost of the protections, and 40% because of the too much of the accommodations for the holiday-related merchandise, and 48% is insufficient delivery force. Last time, China used to be #1 country for order one-day delivery, or they call it 1-hour delivery. But nowadays, it's really hard because this is no longer happening. Sometimes even JD.com, the famous one-day delivery, is gonna take 3 days. Now things change. Okay, look at the fourth one, the supply chain under the pressure of 59%. And the last one is insufficient inventory. A lot of goods, for example, like right, the protection gown, the PPE, the sanitizers and everything, disinfections, spray and so on, there is insufficient inventory. So not everything is so-called come with stock, but a lot of them is still out of stock. Look at the figure 3, retailers' expectations for operations after the epidemic. Only 8% is very good. They think is both challenge and opportunity. 38% of the good retail acts the stabilize and also the economic fluctuation. And look at the 22% is not good, downward pressure on the consumers and the economy. And 40% they claims very bad epidemic may last even longer. 80% is unknown. So this is one of the survey from the China side. And there are a small advice for everyone. People keep talking about from moving offline to online. So this is one of the image you can see here. Don't let COVID-19 pandemic get to you. Migrate offline retail store to online store now. Okay, so this is one of the example. I'm going to talk about our company, about our platform, about what can we help, how can we provide the services for you guys. So this is our very first time about getting intellectual property e-commerce platform in China. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we are. Huishuan Global is, you can see here, the Chinese first e-commerce platform featuring IP, holds the own strike of the selecting standard for high quality goods. Require all merchants must own their IP. This is a must. For example, if you want to sell your products, no matter where it came from, via our platform, you must have your own IP in China or specifically also in your country. Just make sure that this is not counterfeit. This is not a copy goods. And look at it also for the flow, for the social acquaintance. We create an e-commerce platform with the diversified and innovative selling manners, including with the social fiction marketing, live broadcast, short video blog, and also instead of the old-fashioned tools. And also we have which lead to the brand new shopping experience to the customer. And you can see to the consumers, we have what kind of like specialties is about IP owned products, originally with affordable price, high quality, no counterfeit. To the merchant partners, they have the IP owns, the demand for the new launch of the product, and Huishuan will be your premier platform in China. Coming up next, what is about our innovation? So you can see here, the first one, we selection of the criteria is certifications. We endorse with our company with the third authorized authority, goods and 100% genuine and 100% guaranteed with all original products. The second one, we focus with the geographic indication linking product, as well as high-tech product with the help, we take the trail for the China market. So for example, in instant, if you're trying to sell your garments, we will tell you what kind of garments or what kind of like area is much more suitable to sell and which kind of industry and everything. We will literally guide you, not just putting your stuff online and not doing anything. Moreover, we will tell you And we even will do more than that. It's like, how do you get promotion in China, and which sector it start from, and how does it gonna start? So things are little bit more different comparing if you put in everything into the Alibaba. Alibaba, they don't tell you how they're gonna promote it. They don't tell you how many audience that literally gonna capture from which area. So things were a little bit more different. We are doing much more precisely. And you can see the distribution is modeled as an agent. We develop strong agent team with more than 100,000 people who helps to carry your goods following with the selling trend and also the social equitance. And you can see from the second one is we do this small amount of the product following with the F2C mode. F2C is equal to factory to consumer mode. So we skip all the agents. Look at the value. So the value is like, we understand all the difficulties and obstacles during the pandemic time, and we are the expertise in China. Basically, you can see here, merchants is eager to shift selling models from foreign trade to domestic trade due to the tough situation from selling goods abroad. The brands need to stand out with the special positionings and with the differentiation when facing the heavy competition. And then, oops. The next one is like the merchant consider to sell their goods from offline to online. So these are the people that could literally work with us. So what can we help with to tackle with the problems? We boost your sales, we increase your brand exposure, we increase your customer flow, we give you advice and suggestion about how do you protect your intellectual property. Basically, everything is in China. There are some client cases that we try and establish this platform. So we define the USP and also the SKU page. We will also create the banner with the features. We offer discounts in the platform. With the endorsement of our platform, we do the certifications as well. And the last one, we always do the live broadcast and for the marketing. And even we select the top 3 sales per purchase every day. We will have the live streaming to live selling. So how do you make money with us? We operate our own warehouse to get rid of the counterfeit. Warehouse is also even like the third-party warehouse, we also not accept. And distribution agents, we allow factories and distribution agents with their own e-commerce team to send their goods directly to our platform. And also goods, you can see, will be delivered same day to the one customer. That merchants are responsible for the goods delivery. And we also do with OBM and OEM. OBM is original brand manufacturer. With the pre-sales, collecting, buying, order in bulk. Basically, we are more talking about goods has been shipped to China or goods made in China, even they are foreign brand. They can feel welcome to work with us. Even the brand is not from China. If the goods is not in China, we will also help to do the declarations and everything. Just even we can check with the government authorities to get the approval for some reports and tests and so on. So you can see the cooperation process. The first one, the merchant submit the photo, the details, the quotation list, include or excluding with the text, delivery, price, and principles. The second one, we help to upload the goods to the platform. We organize the relevant marketing, including with translation, including with designing. And also the third one, we do the excellent services to the customers in the pre-sellings or after-sale service. Some of it could be pre-ordering. Some of it could be ready stock. And look at number 4. Merchant arrange the delivery goods when receiving order requests, and they will also update upon the delivery time. And the last one is in the end of the month, both parties check the settlement of the payment, and the goods will deliver as issued, invoice issued. So the policy, how do you get into it? The entry restrictions is illegal commodities prohibited for the national law of regulation in China. Similar or same products as well known such as LV or Chanel or copy brands and so on. And also you can see also the terms here like the copyright, designs, patents, products with the prosecuted like infringement for IP, and commodities without IP protections. So we are more talking about IP. And the last one is about investment for promotion categories. These are the things that literally much more in our daily basis, in our daily life. You can see here from computer, communication, consumer electronicals, even for home and household, home daily product, beauty and personal care, automotive outdoors products, clothing, food, moms and kids, medical health, And there will be elimination if like the merchants react attitude in coordination with involving in the pre-sales, after sales, and relevant marketing activities. If the products with defectivity, low customer satisfaction, and inappropriate price, so this also will lead to the eliminations. This is one of the example, like besides of the online store, we will also build the offline experience store. So goods will be displayed in our offline experience store. In 2020, we target to have 3 focus in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. You can look at this. We have 3 types here. The first one is about pilot store. The pilot store is about 100 square meter size. It's much more focused at the CBD area, Central Business District. The second one is retail store. It's slightly smaller. It's more focusing in commercial area. And the third one is experience store. Is around 30 to 50 square meter size. It's more in an industrial park, residential area, even inside the university, inside some school, society, and so on. So these are the types for our offline store connected with our online. You can also scan this QR code if you are interested for like queries about how do you get your merchandise, how do you put your stuff into our platform. So this is some samples that we tried during the 15th of March. How do we promote it? There are some of the poster. If you have any query, feel free to check out the link and scan the QR code and fill in the blank, fill in the forms, and we will have our management team to coordinate with you after this. Before I end my sessions, I'd like to thank you, Marquee, our country partner. And Marquee and Connects, just for you to know, we are together building some technology center, and also even the online offline store, experience store, will be also building together with the Marquee. And they will also build the very first technology center via the Southeast Asia. So what is it about actually for technology that we literally could connect with you or your daily life, or with your business, or with all the SMEs and startup surrounding? For example, look at this graph here. From the left one, you can see the lift button hologram. Just because due to the pandemic time, a lot of people say better do not contact with any button or any things during whenever you take the elevator. You can install a lift button hologram in your elevator just to avoid to have the direct contact with the lift button. Second one is about AI robot education. Nowadays, a lot of kids, they stay home, they even study from home, they work from home, a lot of spare time, and some of the parents, they felt like it's good to have some robotic to learn, for the kids to learn about education. The third one is about food waste machine. We also carry one of the technology for all kind of food waste. We compost, they turn into the fertilizer within 24 hours time. Look at here also, you can see the indoor GPS, and ask how many of you always get to the wrong exit, or you don't even know where is exit B1, or you don't even know where you park your car, and you cannot trace also where is your stuff. And for example, like in instant, a lot of companies, they don't know when a lot of people like working, is their stuff really delivering efficiencies for working operations and so on. So literally, you will have an indoor GPS to track and navigate everything in the inside building. Coming up next, also you can see facial recognition technology is very common in China. You can see a lot of gateway, a lot of access point. They are all using the facial recognition. Even in 7-Eleven, if you're at 7-Eleven, you try to pay, you also can use your Alipay by using your face just to make the digital payment. So things is like transforming, and definitely I suppose everywhere in the world will be transforming for the cashless and cardless for with the payment for facial recognition, and also with various of industry and sectors also could be used for facial recognition technology. And on this one, the left one is one of our client and also one of our business partner. So you can see here is a simple sticker. A sticker you stick on the fruit can last longer for the freshness, and it would maybe a normal mango, it will be rotten in 7 days, but after you put on the sticker with the nano-based technology, the mango freshness would last up to 10 or 12 days. And the last one over here, you can see restaurant with technology. This is one of the very famous hot pot company, biggest hot pot in the world. and they went IPO. If this branch is in Beijing, basically they are 90% things operated with technology, with robots customer service, robots screen, robots. You can see the sky on top there. Everything is like LED screen. They will change to the underwater world. They will change to the mountain view. They will change the view. Like it operates 24/7. So these are the things that technology would enhance in our future world. If you have any information, if you are carrying some technology products, if you want to bring your technology products, or you're looking for technology products, or you wanted to connect with technology, or even you want to connect your businesses into China, you can feel free to hit me up from my WeChat and my WhatsApp. And also that's my personal email. On the left is our headquarters in Guangzhou. And you also feel free to check out with our Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and also YouTube. Thank you for listening. I will look forward with the Q&A session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Raffles, for this presentation. So I noticed that it's 3 minutes left. So maybe we shall jump into our first Q&A. Maybe Pak Eddie will guide us as the moderator. Pak Eddie, please.
Hi everybody. I hope we learned a lot today, right? As much as I did. Okay, we learned a lot of great insights about the current situation in the industry, right? During this COVID-19 pandemic, which is the first time I think happening in our since we were born, right? So it's really exciting, and we have a great opportunity to learn a lot from all these great speakers today. And I will be moderating your questions. Okay, so feel free to ask your questions in the Q&A box. I will particularly address the questions for Pak Ferdinand and Bu Lili, and Mahesa will do for the other two speakers, right? And if you have any problem, maybe you're not comfortable to ask in English, feel free to ask in bahasa Indonesia also. Saya akan bantu translate kepada speaker-speaker kita. Yeah. Yeah. And also we will distribute the slides also, right? And also we have a bit of polling. Please we will share the polling with you. Please fill out the polling. There will be a pop-up showing up. Okay, and so we can get to know a bit more about you. Yeah, thank you for joining this webinar also, right? Okay, in the meantime, let me check. Okay, yes, yeah, there was a question for Bu Lili earlier about, this is actually from my friend, my good friend Rian.
Okay, hi, Rian.
he owns a really a #1 chatbot solution in Indonesia, powered by AI, right?
Yes, yes.
So he was asking in the Q&A box that, okay, with digitizing a business, it means converting to digital customer service or omni-channel contact center. What would be the most suitable omni-channel platform used by Malaysian people? And also maybe he is interested about the market strategy if he wants to expand there.
Okay.
Can you share some insights?
Actually, there's a lot of people now more aware about contacting your customers through many channels. So in the beginning of the startup days, a lot of startups were using things like Infocom, Freshdesk as a means to listen what's out there in their social media, either it's on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, right? And from that one interface, the customer service people can actually respond. The other one is because WhatsApp has now released its business API, and I'm sure you're very familiar to Rian, because if you're doing a chat bot, you should have design a chat bot that also can go into this WhatsApp, right? So it can integrate with people's WhatsApp conversation, especially because I think in Malaysia and in Indonesia, we use WhatsApp a lot, WhatsApp and Telegram. So if that chatbot can integrate with the customer service of a company, then you'll be doing them a lot of favors. I know a lot of micro sellers are also using e-commerce driven via WhatsApp. There's a company called Yeza. They integrate the selling experience via WhatsApp, and then you order and do the receipting and billing via WhatsApp also. So good luck, and I hope you build a good one.
Okay, thank you, Lily, for the insights. Okay, and okay, I see there is no more questions, but feel free to ask more questions. Okay, and there will be also give a few free hosting packages to those who ask interesting questions. I will keep checking the Q&A box in case you have questions with these two speakers. But in the meantime, I would like also to have ask my own question. Okay, this is an interesting question that I usually ask to many people during this pandemic, right? Okay, since from your personal opinion, how long do you think this pandemic will be over? And please elaborate more why you think it will be that long, right? Just a wild estimate, because I've been asking this to many people, my friends, right? And some say 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and some even believe it will last for 3 years to fully recover, right? So feel free. Pak Ferdinand, maybe you can answer first, and then Bu Lily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Pak Edi, for the question. How long the pandemic will be done, right? Will be over in this in our country specifically.
Yeah, particularly in Indonesia. Yeah.
Okay, let's see the data from the governments that keep updates us that the people who recover for this virus is more high than the people that die, right? Because of this virus corona. It means that we already have a low trend with the new cases of the COVID-19. It means it shows us that this virus can be over. My personal opinion is maybe in June, and but our challenge is the how after this. Okay. So how we recover the economic situation, how we recover for the layoff conditions, something like that. So the question is, we need to keep thinking about the how we post after the COVID-19 situations. The COVID-19 will be over. Just believe it that this virus will be gone. Okay. But the question is, the challenge for us, there is any willingness from us that we will be recover faster after this pandemic.
Okay.
That is my personal opinion.
Okay, thank you. Ibu Lily, please.
Personally, I think this COVID situation, people will still be scared until we get a vaccine, which means we can expect there will still be outbreaks in certain places among people because it's highly infectious, right? And we have no idea why it infects certain people a certain way, you know, and why people get it more worse than other people. So I think until we get the vaccine, which is probably 2.5 years to 3 years from now, we still have to deploy things like social distancing, keep yourself clean. I'm particularly worried about my children when they go to school, you know, how they play with their friends. So so in terms of health-wise and social distancing, I think this is going to be around for the next 2 to 3 years until we get a vaccine. But in terms of the economy, I don't think the world will go through what you call the Great Depression, simply because we are much more connected now as a world, right? So as much as we got infected ourselves very quickly around the world, I think we will recover very quickly around the world also. I think things like market indexes are actually not very accurate of the actual production and the ability of people to want to recover. I think the world as a whole wants to recover very quickly, and they want to employ people. So I think it won't last as long, our economic recovery. At least I don't hope that it will.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, your insight will be very helpful for us to plan for the situation ahead, right? Yeah, and okay, I think my time is up. So let's move on to Maisa, who will moderate the questions for the other two speakers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you Pak Edi, Ibu Lili, and Pak Ferdinand. Okay, we move on into the last part, which is the session 2 of the Q&A. I noticed that there's 3 questions in here, 2 for Sarah and 1 for Raffle. So Sarah, are you here? Still here? Oh,
Yes.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give you questions from Mr. Erham, yeah, because Pak Rian already got the questions to Ibu Lili, because we are running out of time. Okay, Sarah, thank you for your good presentations. It's in my understanding that your company runs such a consulting company for China companies to do business in Australia in general, but your good understanding about China desire with a platform with China goodness and cultures. Okay, in general, which part of business you will recommend the hot one in Australia? I mean, probably maybe the city, I guess.
Yeah. So actually I'm just typing to answer the question right now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So it's actually, thank you very much for raising the question. For Australian China Innovation Center, so your understanding is actually right. So our company was, in the beginning, was formed by Shenzhen city government and also Brisbane City Council. So it's, in the beginning, it was funded to promote the bilateral business between the two cities and promote the cultural exchange between the two cities. And eventually, we developed like wider connections with other cities like Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Beijing, Shanghai. So basically, we have the support from local city governments and wide corporate connections locally and partners like WTO IT in Guangzhou. So we are helping companies to grow their business bilaterally. So it's not only about Chinese companies into Australia, but also vice versa. So the other way. And you asked a very interesting question, like to recommend a hot top business for you in Australia. So it's actually, I've been getting involved with different categories, different industries like life science, education, manufacture, and also technology. So it's very hard to say which one is the hot one. But I have to say, if you're going to do something or develop some business in other country, it definitely has to relate to your previous experience. And you definitely need to have some understanding about the industry, have certain connections and certain networks, and you have to choose the right partner in the country or in the market to start with, and then to choose the right pathway. So from my experience, if I have to recommend one, I think education, because it's been transforming heavily right now, or technology. Yep.
Okay, cool. So pretty much like everything, yeah, inside education, yeah, could be life science, could be technology. So it starts from education, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. That's a nice answer. So we move on into Raffles. Yeah, there's one question in here, Raffles. Raffles, you here? Yeah. Raffles, you said we'll change all go to high tech, like robot. How about the human capital beyond when robot made it?
The thing is like different people, different industry have their different obligations and tasks. I'm not saying that everything will be changed into the high tech like made in robot, but the thing is like robot definitely plays a crucial like the positions for human. But beyond than that, human will work much more creatively. Human will think more rather than work more. They will think more. They will be much more creative, and they will also develop more model or designs a lot of programs, design a lot of algorithm, building new infrastructures, something even beyond our imagination. For example, look at the millenniums nowadays. Millennium can be very special. The thinking is even way rapidly faster than every like traditional people because they dare to think. Just for example, like one of my session last webinar, I'm talking about people will start working by learning and adapting and capturing. They are every day they are learning, they are inventing, they are creating something new. So this is the new model, rather than just working like as the usual corporate service or maybe corporate procedures. They will be changing their model completely. So this is gonna be like the revolution and the transformation for the human and robots. Yeah.
Okay, so it's more efficient, yeah. You can't go anywhere, everywhere, yeah, for robots, yeah. They're gonna
Because
be
yeah,
loyal.
because you can see like digital transformation also is because the data
Yeah.
because of the data. So that's why the machine learning, they adapted from the data, they connect from technology to technology. This is also part of it. That's why this industry 4.0 comes in. That's why look at people see like IoT and everything. They are really like so-called connected.
Okay, thank you. I guess, oh gosh, we are running out of time. It's like almost 12 minutes. So I guess thank you so much for everyone, especially Raffle, Sarah, and Pak Ferdinand, and Ibu Lily, of course. And for those who want to ask a bit more about to enter China, to entering Malaysia, Australia, or even from overseas into Indonesia, you can ask to the from our email connect@connect.co.id, and probably you can directly email them, and maybe Sarah and Raffles can type it again in here. Raffles can type again, maybe. Yeah, for those who are not joining us since the beginning and they want to ask something. And Bu Lily, yeah, you've got lots of followers, yeah, Bu Lily, yeah. Lots of questions from you for you.
It's okay. Once you pass those information to the guests, they can actually find me on that Mentor for Good platform.
Yeah, okay. So there's a lot of students, yeah, who are following you. And also, Pak Ferdinand, thank you so much, yeah, for the presentation. Hopefully, there's a lot of youngsters who are gonna be like you as a CEO of the millennials, probably, yeah.
Yes.
And also, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. And this is gonna be not the last one, yeah, Sarah. Hopefully, we're gonna have another sessions of webinar, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, also Raffles, don't be don't be confused, don't be lazy with us. You are part of us already.
Yeah, I still have tomorrow's event coming up, right?
Yeah, don't forget that we've got a tomorrow's event back with Raffles again, and also his colleague Terence. Yeah, Terence.
Yep, Terence.
Yeah. Tomorrow 10 a.m. sharp. So if you guys want to join us, you can simply log on to Eventbrite or locket.com or from Eventbank. Okay, I guess thank you so much, everyone. Pak Edi, also our lovely partner. Thank you for having this kind of very tech webinar Zoom.
Yes, our
So much,
pleasure
Pak
also
Edi.
to work closely with Connex, and hope we can have more interesting webinars coming. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. So I'll see you in the short. Yeah. Okay. See ya.
Thanks.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye.